We just mentioned Hackney, and given that he's really embraced digital media now, I mean, he's making paintings on his iPad. And looking at your new paintings, there's still clearly a relationship to Johns and to Rauschenberg, but also to the web, specifically to the desktop, and this idea of a very new and changing relationship to how we bring images together across a surface. And you're someone who's consistently been dedicated to the practice of painting, to exploring its possibilities, to thinking of the canvas as an expanded surface.
Yes.
And how do you feel this shift to the web and to these sorts of, digital fields of multiple images are impacting you? And I think particularly given you've brought together painting and cinema throughout your career, so this idea of a field of moving images and a static image is something that's at the core of what you've been doing throughout your practice.
And I have a follow-up question that I wanted to ask you since I came here. Was it the painting for you? Because you said that you were very interested in the cinema now that you had almost an impulse to do a film. Was there a moment when somehow the painting was a cinema with other media? The way instead of making a film, it was possible to make painting.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I do go and first whenever I approach a work with video installation, I first go and check the duration and how long it is, because sometimes it's too long and it takes away your time, to explore other works in the museum or in any exhibition like that. That's there, but I enjoy, and I do kind of see these works, and sometime I made some notes in my scrapbook about I would like to do something with a moving image. Right now they're all static. What if they kind of get alive? They come out of the canvas, and how shall? So some of my friends tells me that why don't you? And then, but then I feel, the best thing is the feature film. A full-fledged film. That would be the kind of a great thing, because I'm interested in literature and the narrative aspect which cinema has, which interests me very much. So I feel that at some point I think if I do that, but then because painting has a much bigger long history, and that impact is so strong, and because I was trained as a painter, and during that time photography, video was not there. Now my daughter, she is studying. She is finished. She will have her bachelor degree in May in Chicago at the Art Institute. So she talks something totally different than what I would imagine. How I kind of think. She paints. She does photography as well, but her approach to painting is different. Than
I want to take
mine.
off from your question. I think you're suggesting that does the painting look like maybe a page of the web, and these are like hypertext, and these could be possibly to some extent are these windows, or do you then conversely do you see this as almost like posters stuck on the wall? What is?
But there's also the relationship to somebody like Avi Vorberg, who is also bringing images from multiple cultures onto a field like this to contest linear histories or a one-way address, and so there's a relationship to that.
Yes.
But the relationship to film, it seems to me, is the montage. That's what you're using. And it's a more simple, old-fashioned notion of it, more handmade notion of what we experience every day when we open the pages on the web.
But I guess my question is that do you feel the way you look, the way you see, the way you bring images together, is that changing now, given that we're all constantly moving these things around on screens in a different way? Is it changing how you would construct these kinds of compositions?
It's true. Actually, I will be showing you after some time on my computer the last show which I just had at the museum here in Bombay, where there were cabinets and which had objects and photographs and a lot of sculptures and found objects, etc. So it's combination of many things, which I explore and which I feel like doing,
So that's like a 19th century cabinet of curiosities. But it's
yeah.
also Damien Hirst and his files of medicine, etc. You do that, and you create a similar sort of a field in that. That's right.
Yeah, but still, I would say that when I'm selecting an image, it has to do with the history around that particular image or that particular film still, which I know. So I know the stories of course, throughout this 5 paintings, there is a one common factor is a film still of Satyajit Ray, the Bengali filmmaker, whom I admire greatly. So I know very well the story and the content of that. In that context, how I see through 400 blows or thing. So that whole so the history and the story of the young boy in that 400 blows, that also I'm familiar, and I try to kind of then connect those things. So partly it's true that thing comes from a diverse sources. So while looking at which particular image I should go, and I came across suddenly this Godard and Woody Allen, the glasses thing on a computer, on a net, and I said, oh, this is wonderful.
We need to add you to that now.
Yeah. And since she is also looking through an old binocular, glasses, thing. So I thought of having that's the Charulata, Ray's famous film. So that's something. And then of course when I did this, I said the glasses and looking at in the when you go to test your eyes, all these things. So that's there. But that's okay. That's the beginning. And now what? So I'm quite stuck actually right now. But I think I will resolve it at some point on this.